Good morning, everyone. I'm Pam Myers with Pam Myers Social Media, and we are here today again this week with Conversations with Jane C. Phillips. And our conversation today is about when thoughts or songs just come to you, like when you're driving down the road or doing something just pops in your head. Jane is a paranormal investigator, a psychic medium, and a medical intuitive. So, good morning, Jane. I'm looking forward to today's conversation.
Okay. I don't remember how we started to decide to do this, but things, there's a whole variety of things that happen when songs and things pop into your head. And I usually, or we're driving along and we're thinking about somebody, for example, and all of a sudden a song comes on that's either the song that you had together, or it's a song that is a message from that person. I've had that happen where I've understood that I was thinking about somebody, and a friend of mine who had died several years ago. I was aware. Just intuitively aware. I usually go through a list of names, and when I kind of feel a yes. So I was intuitively aware, and a song had come through that was warning me about a young friend that I had. And I said, and it was about lie and deceit and stuff. And I said, no, that can't be true. And it ended up being true. And it took me about a year to kind of figure out and then have to do something about it. So I don't know if you ever had a thought that comes into your head that's like music or something on the radio where it's connected.
For
you, it feels like it's connected.
Right. Yeah. Like frequently that happens, and then like all of a sudden it's just clear out of the blue, a memory will come, and then a song, or, vice versa, whichever one comes first, right? It's often not the same. Yeah. That happens to me a lot. So does that mean, so what you're saying is then that memory is being pushed through by that individual's
it can be, yes.
Spirit, or not spirit, it's not the right word. What am I looking for?
Spirit's a good word.
Okay.
Yeah. So in my world, I don't believe anything is coincidence, because coincidence is like out of the blue. Right. And I believe we're getting messages all the time, like 100% of the time, not 99. We're getting messages. That does not mean we receive them all. Right. So it's the ones that we pay attention to, or the ones that we notice, are the ones that we're supposed to work with. Right. So if we may be getting messages just about all sorts of things, like even what to eat for dinner, but if you're not paying attention to the universe telling you that, because you're thinking about other things, you'll grab onto the stream of information that relates to what's on your mind at the moment. And I've had at this point in my life, I've lost friends, who have passed on and are on the other side, and they aren't always in touch with me. They don't need to be. But the people that were maybe more like soulmates, I have a soulmate from college, which is a long time ago. How long? But he passed in 1989 of AIDS, and we never dated, but everyone thought we should have. But we were. It was clear later, I didn't know about soulmates, that we were really a connected a couple of people. And when he passed, I somehow through the universe got the hit that I needed to go find him, and I hadn't seen him for 10 years. And he was in Sacramento and I was in Minnesota, and I was nervous because I figured out where he was. I called a friend and I said, I don't know where this mutual friend, I said, I don't know where Laszlo is. And he gave me he said, "Oh, well, he's got cancer, I think." Well, it turns out it was AIDS, and that was the height of the epidemic. And so I was able to nervously fly in to see somebody I hadn't seen in years who was really sick. And he passed about 3 days after I got there.
Wow.
3 days I was there, and then I left, and he passed 2 days, 3 days later.
Mhm.
And I went to his memorial service in the summer in the college town I went to with him. And but after that, I didn't, and that was 89. I really didn't, he wasn't like present in my life. But then as I started to move into realizing I was leaving Minnesota and moving to New Mexico, out of the blue, it was just like intuitive. And it was like, he started showing up. I would be aware that he was in the car. I would be aware that he was giving me messages through songs.
Mm-hmm.
And he had my best interests at heart around that. And so, and since then I've had other spirits. Laszlo tends to give me more messages through music, and other spirits, like my father, who helps me, does not.
Mm-hmm.
He was a lawyer in this lifetime, and he tends to be pretty direct and kind of lawyerly like and concerned. He was always worried about me because I was the weird one of the three of us. I was the oldest, and he didn't know what to do with me, although he cared. So
that happens, right? It happened. Yeah, that actually, that just happened to me. Speaking of fathers, like about a week ago, I was vacuuming really. And then I guess the holidays, maybe, I'm not quite sure, but I thought of, for whatever reason, my dad popped into my head. And then I remembered, oh, dad really liked classical music. And then I kept hearing classical music in my head. And then I wanted to put it on. So then I put it on the radio so I could listen to it, because it just kind of came to me. And it was probably because he was just, coming on and say, hey, thinking of you.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so do take comfort in that. When you're hearing music and things that remind you of somebody, or in my case, just because I've developed my psychic abilities, everybody has them. Some people have stronger abilities, and that might be me or not. But I do pay attention, and I do get messages through music, and sometimes from friends. And sometimes it says, what happened to you, Pam? It's somebody reminding you really strongly. You got a sense that your dad was there. Then you heard classical music, which is to like, yes, it's really me.
Right.
And then you felt, well, I want even a better connection, and maybe you would like to listen to some music with me, so you put it on the radio.
Exactly. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it was comforting. It was nice.
It is. And my more logical brained people, I always forget whether it's right or left brain, so I'm not going to.
You're right. Go there.
I'm supposed to know this just like off, but I think it's your left brain. That's your logical side. But I could be wrong, so don't text and correct. Right. When you're operating in a more analytical way, that's just how you're wired. I'm just offering up that there really is no coincidence. And if something reminds you of somebody, whether it's a song or a bird at the windowsill, or any of that, just assume that that's what's happening, that you really are getting a message from a family member or a spirit, and embrace it, because we've had a lot of losses in the last couple of years, and I have some clients that really want the sign from the loved one who has passed to be verbal, right, and in their head and visible. like they want to see that person walk in the bedroom as a spirit, or they want to hear a full message. And what they're getting from the person is a song about fishing because their son liked to fish, or or you're all of a sudden flipping through channels and there's a whole thing about sea fishing, and you think, gosh, he used to. Those are all messages from the other side. So what does it hurt actually to believe that that's coming from someone you cared about?
Right. Nothing. Right. In fact, it's a good feeling.
Yeah. So understand it can come through as music, and that was the kind of the topic for today, and to comfort you. And we're going into a new year. I think some people have told me it's still going to be bumpy for a little bit for the first 6 months. But I can feel it opening up. I can feel that opportunities are coming through, that we're getting more creative. We're figuring out how to navigate things better. And so I encourage all of you to be aware the veil is more open in December a lot of times because of Christmas and because of other celebrations. So there's more opportunity for our loved ones to come through. We're also missing them more at this time of year, which they will feel that, and that energy will come through. So they will try and reach out to you during this time of year. We're going into, tomorrow is New Year's Eve. Today is Thursday, the 30th of December. And I can't believe it. And I actually saw a Netflix show. I only made it halfway through because I didn't want to get stuck on the dark side too much, but it was a little bit of a comedy about the death of 2021. And so I'm sort of relieved to have made it through this bumpy year. And so I'm working on plans for next year. I'm hoping, whether you have a business that you're working on or it's just your personal life, that you spend some time to take stock of what worked this year and the lessons you got from it, and the things that didn't work, regrets and failures. I don't like the word failure. They're just things that didn't work out the way you wanted them to. But failures in quotes or mistakes or regrets, that sort of thing, or challenges that you had. Take a note of those things and spend a little time figuring out what you learned from it so that you can take those lessons forward. And don't be afraid if some of the things that you learned or you figured out, this, oh my God, Dad was right about this. He's gone, but he was right. Oh my God. Or so understand that you can also ask, as you're getting messages through music and other things, you can also ask your loved ones that have passed, if they've gone through their life review and they've been gone for a while, they've got some wisdom that's back that maybe they didn't have all of when they were here in human, in physical form. And so make sure that as you're trying to move forward, that it's not, you don't let it all be on you. That's my message that I had to give to a client in South Carolina yesterday. I said, we've got to do everything we can think of, but then we've got to reach out for help. And it might be from a friend, but it might be from the other side. And don't be afraid to just ask. And there is no specific way to do it. It's just do it. Hey, Dad, I could use some ideas right now, and see what pops into your head in the next few days. And listen for music. If you're trying to sort something out and you listen to music in the car or at home, and you're trying to figure something out, and all of a sudden a song comes through that just like resonates. It's the one that hits you and you go, oh my gosh, I could do that.
Right.
just
Mhm.
understand that your prayers will be answered. And it's not I have to do it all or the other side has to do it all. It's like a collaboration that each of us has to navigate every day. So use music and connect with your loved ones at this time, and whether physical or non-physical, they're still here to help.
Right. And open your mind to possibilities, because we don't know what we don't know. Right.
Yep.
Yep.
And that's the biggest thing. This is another segue. This is all over the map a little bit today, but
It's okay.
do understand that all the answers to everything are sitting out in the all that is in the universe somewhere. In the 1980s, I took a class. It was a 7-week class over 14 weeks. So we met every other week. And they said that there's a universal library, and that's how we invent new things. Even though it feels new to us, the information is out there for when we're ready to tap it. So don't be afraid to ask for help from the other side. If you're into meditation, of course, that really helps a lot because it calms you down to be able to be more of a channel for the information. And listen to the music.
Yeah, right. And if you're you want Jane's help, you can find her on janecphillips.com. You can schedule an appointment with her on calendly.com. She's pretty easy to find. I'm Pam Myers with Pam Myers Social Media, ready to help you with any digital marketing needs you have, including podcasting. So join us next week, everybody, for another conversation with Jane. We're going to talk about cannabis and how it can affect your immunity. So see you next week.